Ethan Marshall had been a firefighter for nearly 2 decades. At 46, his body carried the quiet reminders of years spent answering alarms, aching knees, stiff shoulders, and exhaustion that never quite faded. Still, every call mattered. Every life saved felt like a gift. Ethan was also a single father. After losing his wife to illness 4 years earlier, his world revolved around his 13-year-old daughter, Maya. They had learned how to live with loss together: early breakfasts, late-night homework talks, and the unspoken promise that they would always show up for each other. Lately, Ethan had been thinking about change. He loved firefighting, but the danger weighed heavier now that Maya depended on him alone. He had quietly begun applying for fire safety and training roles jobs where he could still protect people, just in a different way. That morning was supposed to be his day off. After dropping Maya at school, Ethan drove home through familiar streets. That's when he noticed the smoke dark and rising from an apartment building just blocks away. He slowed instinctively, scanning the scene. Then he saw her. A woman stood at a third-floor window, coughing, panic written across her face. Emergency sirens echoed faintly in the distance, but help hadn't arrived yet. Ethan didn't hesitate. He parked, called emergency services, and moved toward the building. People nearby were backing away, unsure what to do. The front entrance was blocked, but along the side, Ethan spotted a fire escape just out of reach. Nearby sat a large trash container. With effort, he pushed it beneath the ladder, climbed up, and pulled himself onto the metal rungs. The heat was intense but manageable. He moved quickly, focused, steady. At the third floor, he called out calmly, "Ma'am, I'm here. Can you hear me?" Her name was Sofia Ramirez, and she was frightened but responsive. The hallway behind her was unsafe, but Ethan spotted an adjacent apartment window wide enough to enter. Carefully, he guided her through the steps, helping her stay low and move slowly. Together, they reached the fire escape and descended just as firefighters arrived below. Sofia was safe. Ethan stepped back, heart pounding, as professionals took over. A familiar voice called his name, his station captain, equal parts relieved and frustrated. "You're off duty," the captain said. "But you still ran towards someone who needed help." Ethan simply nodded. "I couldn't walk away." At the hospital, Ethan was checked and cleared. As he prepared to leave, a nurse stopped him. "The woman you helped, Sofia, she'd like to thank you." Sofia sat upright, tired but smiling. "You didn't just help me," she said. "You gave my son his mother back." They talked briefly. Sofia mentioned she worked as a senior operations director at a manufacturing company called Northway Industries. Ethan mentioned Maya, his career, and his thoughts about transitioning into safety leadership. Before he left, Sofia handed him her card. "If you ever need anything, please call." 3 weeks later, Ethan received an interview invitation for a fire safety director role at Northway Industries. He had applied long before the incident, never imagining the connection. When he entered the interview room, he froze. Sofia smiled. "Looks like we've already met." She was professional, fair, and thorough. She made it clear the job would be earned on experience and vision alone, and Ethan delivered. He spoke about prevention, training, and creating a culture where people looked out for each other. He talked about leadership rooted in responsibility, not fear. By the end of the interview, he felt proud no matter the outcome. Later that day, Ethan received the call. The job was his. The new role gave him steady hours, purpose, and time at home with Maya. He flourished. So did the company's safety culture. Months later, Ethan stood at Northway's annual meeting as they celebrated a year without a major workplace incident, the first in company history. That night, Ethan came home to find Maya waiting at the kitchen table. "You look happy," she said. "I am," Ethan replied. Standing on the balcony later, Ethan realized something important. He hadn't stopped being a firefighter. He had simply learned that courage doesn't always wear the same uniform. Sometimes it shows up on a day off. Sometimes it changes everything,